Shot on target. Oh dear. Welcome back to the Roaring Peacock podcast, where we talk vociferously about Leeds United for your amusement. If you're a sadist or masochist, like every other Leeds United fan. Can you hear me?
I hear you fine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Bloody hell! I had I had the stream up. I had the stream up in the other window, so I started hearing myself. That's very embarrassing, isn't it? My name's Adonis. You know me as @theAdelites on Twitter. It's very good hello from me. Joining us to discuss Arsenal, Leicester, and Jesse Marsch is the chairman of the board, Wiggy 1234.
Good evening, everyone. Hope we're all well, as well as we can be after that.
And the chairman of the darkness.
Indeed.
The prince himself, Machiavelli, Big Matt, at you and Metcalf.
Good evening. Good to see you, boys.
And
Very good to see you.
Been
Any
ages
news?
since I've seen you, Wiggy.
I know it has.
Are you Saturday, Wiggy?
Say that again.
Are you in town on Saturday?
I am in town on Saturday. I'm doing a bottomless. So if I do bump into you, I'll probably be very drunk. That's the plan anyway.
A bottomless is where you have
Banker's
breakfast,
cat,
right? And then you just keep on drinking.
Yeah, you get an allocated amount of time, 2 hours in this case, for your 30 quid. You get a little bite to eat, but the food's not important. But you can drink as much Prosecco or cocktails in that time as you want. And let me just say, I get my money's worth.
I bet you do.
It doesn't sound very responsible service of alcohol, that.
To be fair, like they've been going years now, and I just don't know how they're still going because it's not very responsible at all. Or it definitely in my case because I'm irresponsible when it comes to alcohol. And if someone says you can have as much as you want, I see it as a challenge. Like challenge accepted.
Where are you going for it? Where are you going for the? Where is it?
Turtle Bay, you know, in the light.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there. Apparently it's a really good one. The food's good, so we'll see. I'll give me a review the next time we speak.
There you go. I'm in Banker's Cat, mate, at about 5 o'clock. So if you're about, mate, you know where we are.
I'm sure I'll be working my way around town, so I'm sure I'll bump into you.
Yeah, good lad. It'd be good to catch up with you. Last time we had a drink was last Christmas, so it's probably been a year since we sat in a pub and had a beer, wasn't it? You and me, you and your Ryan, and a couple of my pals, wasn't it? So it's good to see you, mate.
Yeah. To save me from tears, I gave it to Pontus.
See Wiggy pissed again.
And I got bloody COVID that night as well. So anyway, couldn't get to Birmingham.
You give it all to us.
I know.
You give it all to us, you bloody caring, sharing bear, you.
If you would like Leeds to score against Fulham, please press the like and subscribe buttons. Okay. Willie Jewett. This is the end, my fish-eyed friend. The end. A fish-eyed friend is a fish-eyed is what Willie calls Jesse Marsch. And let's hope so. So Bandy and Paul Homeboy says, "Evening, chaps." Well, we didn't talk about Arsenal, so should we start there?
Starting with the good.
Good days.
Right.
The glory days. Woo! Arsenal, we had one good half of football.
Five days ago, yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Ooh, but what half, though? What half?
Oh, what 40 minutes. Wow. Woo, great.
Disallowed goal, missed penalty, penalty overturned, red card overturned.
Get the fucking party poppers out. I'm going to be horrible tonight, boys, by the way. I've got to tell you, so I apologise in advance. Hopefully it'll be entertaining.
Who deserves more praise, Jesse Marsch or Liz Truss?
What? Who deserves more praise, Jesse Marsch or Liz Truss? Oh, God, they're as bad as each other. They can have each other. That'd be lovely.
Now you've given me visions that I didn't want to have.
Yeah.
It's terrible. That's painful.
It's good for relations.
Come on, Mac, get it off your chest. You want to have a win tonight? You're going to be brutal.
No, well, not about Arsenal necessarily. I thought we played, like I say, we had one good half, didn't we? I mean, we didn't score again. Missed a penalty, didn't even hit the target with a penalty. Refereeing was once again a bit like Brentford. I thought went against us a bit atrocious, really. I think I was saying to somebody that those relative moments of hope, like the half against Arsenal, where we actually looked really good, it looked like the system was working, everybody was doing things together, is what kills you. Because that's when you think, actually, Leicester, play like that. Everybody says it. Play like that against Leicester and Fulham, we'll get 6 points. Yeah, but we don't, do we? So the Arsenal game set the precedent for how it can look, but it's not consistent enough, is it? And it just looks to me at times like the players don't believe the system at all.
I think we definitely have consistency, though. We're consistently shit. That's the issue. Yeah. We had one half where we're decent. We're consistently terrible, and we create nothing. I mean, let's talk about the positives that were Arsenal, and we were really good. Like
I was going to say, this is the positive part, boys. Come on,
that's why I swung it back round quickly.
Where's Barney? Barney, get in
there. He's happy clapping in mirror. Leave him alone. We were good in that second half. We were really good, but how in the final third we're so hesitant. We don't know. It's like we don't know what to do. It's like we've never bloody shot on goal. How a professional footballer can not even hit the target from a penalty is ridiculous. The goal that Bamford did score for me was a goal. I think it's soft to give it to rule it out. I think it's ridiculous. And again, why in that element is VAR not stepping up and going, you've got it wrong, it's a goal? I just don't get the inconsistency of the whole thing. I agree the refereeing were terrible. I've got a friend who's friends with Chris Kavanagh, and I just sent one message and it said one word, and it started with seeing it ended in T, and I said, you can give him that as well because I've had enough of him. Honestly.
Third party abusing referees, brilliant.
Well, look, I've got to weigh into him. So, because he sent me a couple of weeks ago, he sent me a picture of them both together, and I just said that word again. I said, you can tell him it's an absolute thing. That's all you're getting back from me. Anyway, yeah. But I thought we were good, and this is what's baffling. Not to get into the Leicester game in detail, but to change the team as much as he did after a half like that is absolutely criminal. I can understand the obviously Firpo coming in, although you'd have been better. I can understand that change. I can understand him starting Bamford. The other two, I just don't get. And he goes on about, he's protected Cooper because we've got 3 games this week. Did he not watch the Arsenal game? Cooper did nothing for the whole second half because there was nothing to do. So he's been protected. He might as well have been in stands. Oh, yeah.
Wow, I thought it was going to be me. Wig is off.
For me, that the disallowed goal, just to touch on that, is I don't think that's a foul anywhere else on the pitch. That's the problem. No. But because it directly leads to a goal, and the thing is, Gabriel is in the air. So if you do get pushed, because you're not grounded, your body will move, and he gained a benefit from it. So for me, it wasn't a goal, unfortunately. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? Because they're letting things go, and so anywhere else on the pitch, it's not a foul.
But Donny, and I get your point, but that's the other way around, and it's Arsenal at the other end doing that. They get that given. Yeah, 100%.
Potentially, yeah. But I just think we had 4 terrible, abject refereeing performances in a row, and I actually thought he did an okay job in that game, and I thought it was us who just couldn't finish our dinner. And if
that's the thing is, Donny, that's because it's that bad. That looks all right. That's how bad the referee is.
Maybe
bad that you think, actually, I thought the Villa, when people were giving the Villa, and he was bad. I thought he was. That's only because we had Brentford and other games to go off where they're fucking abysmal. I mean, The goal disallowed I don't see that getting disallowed for any at top six. And the thing at the end, the penalty at the end where he sent off Gabriel and then, he still kicked out at him. It doesn't matter what the decision ended up being. He kicked out at him. It's a red card, absolutely. And he just completely undid everything. It's mad.
That is the point. That is still a red card, whether it's a penalty or not. That is still a red card. You cannot kick out.
He booted out.
Soft though, wasn't it? Soft. He hardly touched him. Come on. I mean, it's not really bad. It was petulant.
People go for it though all the time, kicking out and retaliating, whatever.
Yeah, I agree it was soft and Bamford made it look like he'd been shot, but it still is a red card. You cannot kick out whether it's soft or not.
Yeah, I just think we get so little. We almost never get decisions go our way. So I think when there's these ones which are 60-40, kind of the other way, we really want them, you know what I mean? Whereas, because we almost never get 50-50s. And that was my big problem with the previous 4 games, is that it's even in these games where the big decisions don't go our way, there's all these little decisions. I mean, even with Leicester, with the back pass, for example, I mean, that you won't see a clearer back pass ever. And that's an indirect free kick in the box. And, we'd probably have missed that anyway.
Yeah, that was going to be my point. Like, it doesn't matter. It'd probably ended up, over the stand. Like, even if we'd have got that second penalty, that'd have been on M621. So, we're going through a really rough patch, and I'm sure we'll talk about our manager and leader very soon.
I think the thing is, it's the refereeing thing is never going to get any better under the current circumstances, because especially with our referees, because a lot of them are full of ego, so they want to be the centre of attention, and suddenly you've got this system, the VAR system, that's become almost more important and more of a talking point than them. So they won't like that. But also, it's like any technology you get that aids your job means that you switch off a bit. So you're incapable of doing the things you would have done before because you're not paying as much attention, because you think, well, I'm going to get rescued by or corrected by VAR. I think that referees have stopped refereeing games, and so many decisions that you can make in game, you don't need that for, that go missing, like the back pass, like loads of things, just little incidents that you think that's a free kick. There was one on Aronson last night where he left him on the floor, and it was a free kick all day. And they just played on, and it's like there was a head injury the other day. Somebody got elbowed and went down. Head injury, you stopped the game. He didn't. He carried the play. They just seem to have lost the ability to referee and manage a game, and that was the referee's job, wasn't it? And we had good and bad, and we had people who were in, probably your favourites and the people you disliked in the game years ago. But you kind of knew what you were getting, and generally speaking, things balanced themselves out over the season. It's got worse. And particularly, I said to you, Donny, when they first brought VAR, and if you'll remember, everybody hates Leeds. There's a great percentage of people dislike Leeds. The more people you have officials around that environment, the worse it'll get for us. And it's proven to be the case, hasn't it?
Yeah, there's a premeditation, it seems to me, with referees now. So they've got this directive to let the play go on. They've also got, so that's an intent, right? Premeditated intent. So they're going into that with that in mind. And then they've got that thing that you were talking about, Ewan, as well, which is like the safety blanket of VAR. Oh, I won't make a decision here because VAR will sort it out. And then you've got the unconscious bias as well. So, which you've mentioned, you touched on again, which is, clearly against Leeds.
If you watch other games, I watch Italian football quite a lot, and other people will watch different, or whatever. And I've seen games where the VAR is as it was intended. You see it in Italy quite a lot. Some of the referees aren't great, I've got to tell you. There's some dubious decisions, but they make the decision and VAR kind of jumps in. It's that kind of silent friend or kind of silent assistant to the referee. In our game, it dominates every game. It's 3 or 4 minutes to make a decision. It's not clear and obvious. Otherwise, you'd be able to make that decision pretty quickly. It's 58 different angles. It's let's slow it down. Once you slow a tackle down, everything looks worse anyway. They've not worked anything out. And like you watch, I watch Serie A quite a lot, watch Napoli. And it just doesn't get involved in the game as much. They let the referee make the decisions unless it's really clear and obvious and they ask them to go have a look. it's used as an advantage, as it should be intended to be an assistant or an aid to the referee, not this constant interference or lack of. It's madness.
Yeah. How many times did he look at that handball against Arsenal? Sat there looking, stood there looking at it over and over. You just see, what's a fucking handball? Just give it. Clear as day. It's never going to be a clearer handball you'll ever see. And then there's a consistency. So against Leicester, one of their players blocked a free kick. No yellow card. Sinistera got sent off for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's that thing of, you've had a look at it 84 times on the camera. What are you fucking sending the ref over to the tunnel to look at it again for? It's like, you make the decision and tell him what the right decision is. We've looked at it 85 times. You go and have a look at it. Fuck that. Tell him what the fucking decision is, you pricks, man.
It is ridiculous because it takes away that whole clear and obvious. If you're looking at it from all angles, slowing it down, then it's not clear and obvious. It's ridiculous. I think the one thing that is the main issue for me is there is no accountability anymore. None. Yeah. And this is not just accountability for decisions or, the accountability is moved to Stockley Park or whatever. This is about, there's no accountability in terms of bad performances. They get away with it week on week. If I went into work and delivered that every single week, I wouldn't be in a job. Yeah. Like, I could maybe go in and do that once and I'd be told.
Bring back the stocks. That's what I say. You get your head in hands in those holes, lad. And the whole town are going to come by with rotting fruit.
I don't know any other profession.
That's some of this, Chris. Yeah.
I don't know any other profession where you can be that bad and get away with it. I couldn't. I'm sure you guys put it in your work. I wouldn't go politicians. That's another conversation that we could spend 3 hours on. But you just wouldn't. And in my work, I go into work, do I get everything right? Absolutely not. But I'm pulled up and it's dealt with. But to go in at that level of badness every week, I'd be out of a job. I honestly would. And deservedly so.
Arsenal was a brilliant performance, albeit we got 0 points. But they have been few and far between under Marsch. He doesn't deserve the Fulham game, in my opinion, says no. Jesse Marsch and Liz Truss are the same person, says Bandy. If the pitch was 20 yards wide, would be great. 2 points in 21. Tactics. And it's going to be the same story every game until we get relegated. The fish-eyed fool must go. So we're talking about referees being bad at their jobs. Is Jesse Marsch bad at his job?
Yes.
I've never liked him anyway.
I've never used car salesman. Exactly what I said from day one. He talks the talk. He can sell you this brilliant car, but you get it to end of road and it bloody conks out. Look, he deserves credit. He kept us up last year. I think Bielsa would have done that as well, but that's a different matter. This season, he's out of his depth. I did not want us to become a club that churns managers. Going gets tough. We sack a manager, we start again, so on and so forth. But he's out of his depth. He's not good enough. You only have to look at yesterday and his ridiculous lineup to know that the bloke doesn't have a clue. His subs were terrible. His tactics were terrible. We have got great wingers. We've got Harrison. We've got Sinistera. They are good wingers. Play them on the wing. Let's have some width to this bloody game we're playing instead of playing this nonsense down the middle. I could rant all night about him. So
this is proper team talk stuff. This is sport talk.
In front of him. Get rid of him. Send
talk
him.
Sport. That's it.
Send him on a bloody Manchester to LA flight and get rid of him, and we'll start again. I'll drive him there my fucking self.
He's sitting on the fence there, Wiggy.
Tell us how you really feel.
I think Wiggy's always fucking, the old back mates. Like asking if he's bad at his job, right? I think he was almost a perfect foil to come in at the end of last season for those so many games left, because I think It's like a lot of Americans, isn't it? They rely on this kind of inspiring and man management and high-fiving and let's do a lot of whooping and come on, we're all brilliant. Let's do it all in the trenches together. And that seemed to work. We're scoring goals in the last minute. Norwich, scoring a goal last minute. Wolves away. It was all this kind of winning it together in the trenches and it seemed to work. With that longer plan over 38 games, it's just shocking. I mean, I don't think he's bad at his job, but I think he's out of his depth. He's not got experience in this league. He's brought players in who haven't got experience in this league. The lineup was confusing for me. I know you said straight away we're in trouble, Donny, as soon as you saw the lineup. When Firpo's not in form, and he's not, he doesn't even look like a footballer a lot of the time. To take Cooper out, who's a natural leader, and put Llorente back in, who's short confident. I didn't think Llorente did tonight. I've seen others disagree. I thought the only two shining lights yesterday was Sinister and Aronson. I think Bamford looked shot. I thought he looked when he came on against Arsenal, holding the ball up the way he was. Even though you could tell he wasn't 100% fit and obviously missed the penalty, and he was a handful, wasn't he? They didn't like how he played. He was getting on Gabriel's nerves, Saliba's nerves, and he was doing really, really well. But he still looked shot, and he looked short of match fitness and needs to get his fucking hair cut. But yesterday it was just awful. I wanted to turn the game off 8 or 9 times. I wanted to turn the game off. I was like, I can't even watch this. This is shit. There's no width. I watched the goal that we scored against. Who was it? During lockdown, 30 passes under Bielsa, where we played out from the back. It went back to keeper. We were playing one touch passes, flicking it round the corner. Somebody we knew would be there. Klitsch is really
Barnsley,
good at that.
Maybe.
It might have been. We just don't know where anybody is anymore. We don't know where people are going to be on pitch. We're having to take too long to think, right, so-and-so's there. You haven't got that Harrison out ball, the width there. Sinisterra would be lethal out wide. You watch all those clips that we watched when he got bought, all those reels, and a lot of his stuff is done out wide. And fucking everything's just down the middle. There's no width. There's no easy pass to get us up the pitch. It's appalling. And substitutions, he takes Sinisterra off all the time, player. And it takes Rocker off half at time, who's losing one of the better players. He just doesn't seem to have a clue. And he looks like a man who is on his last legs, really. He looks shot, doesn't he? He's got no enthusiasm anymore. I mean, the one thing he had, I said it today, was that kind of, that motivation, that man management, that, belief and, bringing everybody together and that unity. They looked really disjointed last night. They looked like there was a lot of arguing going on the pitch, Llorente, Melier, Adams, there was a few having a niggle at each other. So he's lost the 3 or 4 things I thought he brought to the table have gone. How he's going to turn that round, I have got no idea.
So you were talking about it, Max. So I just wanted to bring up some stats just to back up what you're saying, because I was going to talk about it, but you've said it. It's passing. We can't pass.
Yeah.
We're bottom of the Premier League for attempted passes, just in total. But if you look at what type of passes we complete, long passes, we're 18th. Oh, no, sorry, 19th. 49, so less than 50% of long passes completed. We're bottom for medium passes, so 81%. That's the worst in the Premier League. And short passes we're not too bad in. We're about mid-table. So we're not passing enough anyway, so we're not keeping possession. And we can't pass any further than about 5 yards.
Wonder why we're not stretching people and scoring goals yet.
I agree with all what you've just said, Ewan. The thing that really boils my piss at the minute is we have and had good wingers at this club, right? We all cried out for a midfield in the summer. We sorted that problem. I think we've got good midfielders now. If you do not play them wide and play with the midfield we've got, and I know that you, Donny, always talk about us needing to replace Pablo, but Aronson in that 10 role with Harrison on the left, Sinister on the right, and then there's new midfielders. I just don't think it could not work. But instead we play this awful football down the middle where we can't pass. And we end up getting absolutely stuffed by Leicester. Were terrible last night, by the way. And that's what
They
pisses me
weren't
off
great,
as well.
yeah.
They were
Yeah,
shit.
agreed.
You can see why
100%.
they're down the bottom. They're terrible. And we turn up and we play like we've never played football before. I don't blame Cock for the goal last night. Like, it is what it is. Firpo looks like he's never played football in his life. He gets dragged out of position. Llorente goes with it, creates absolute holes everywhere. If that happens again on Sunday, which it will do if he plays that same team, we're absolutely fucked. And well, look, at least he will be the end of March, because he'll be gone if we get beat on Sunday. Thank fuck for that. Every cloud.
Yeah, the problem is that we're not keeping possession, so we're not keeping hold of the ball, and we're not keeping possession in the final third. So we can't build up any pressure at all. We give away the ball far too easily, as we've just seen. On lowest, bottom or second bottom for passes, basically. So we're giving the ball away constantly, and every time that we do get into a semi-decent area, and Leicester is the best example. We've had 14 shots and we don't look like scoring, and the reason is because those 14 shots are from outside the box or in poor areas, and they're under no pressure at all. They're not panicking, and because, as you've said about the width, we're not stretching them. We're not stretching players out of place, and the lack of energy and off the ball movement is unbelievable. I mean, we were the most energetic team in the Premier League under Bielsa. Yeah. Where's all the energy gone? You look at a team in form and they're dragging defenders out of position and leaving holes and gaps for other players to go. There's none of that. Nothing. We just give the ball away and we're on the back foot again.
Our best games under Marsch last season, where we actually did something, is when we defaulted to what bloody Bielsa were playing. And it's as simple as that. You only have to look and see. The guys know what they're doing. They want to play that way. And they're probably not as fit this year, Donny, as they were last year. I'm not saying they're not running loads, but they will not be as fit as they were under Bielsa. And that's a fact. Because bloody Jesse's giving them 2 weeks off, and let's go on a fucking jolly when there's a bit of a break. The bloke's a fraud. I'm sick of him already.
You would never liked him in the first place. He must be really fucking boiling your piss at the moment, because you hated him when he first came. You were like, he's a used car salesman from Florida. He's like one of those timeshare. So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he sold me 2 fucking cars and they're both fucked.
And do you know what as well? I think when you talk about those passing stats, Donny, most long passes that are successful, like when Phillips used to play, but out wide, aren't they? Because you've got that width to be able to hit a ball wide, knowing you've got a bit of space to play that ball into. We haven't got the width to do that. What they're trying to do is get the ball forward really quick. You can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to play through the lines very quickly and turn people. It's not working. But with the fact that we can't, Crystal Palace, Leicester, both made small tweaks to the way they set up, and it worked for them. They both beat us. Palace did it at half time and beat us when we were already in the lead. It makes me laugh that we're not able to in game make any changes. And he looks shot. He's not doing anything on the touchline like he was. He's not. You look at Arteta. I hate him, and I hate the way he's like on the touchline out of his technical area. But Marsch was a bit like that in last season. The end of last season. Now he looks like he's lost. He looks like he's lost all faith, all imagination, all hope, and you just look there and think you want your manager to be at it, and he's not. He's miles away. And substitutions, in-game management, any sort of technical other than a bit like Bielsa. We've got this one system, and that's what we're going to do. Work. We're absolutely fucked. It's just not. It's not good. It's not looking positive.
The only time I've really seen it work where he made an adjustment is when we had Sinistera sent off, and that they practiced it previously of this is our plan if this happens, and they enacted it and they did really well. I mean, it wasn't 10 men away to City. It wasn't 10 men away to City, but it was good.
It wasn't, definitely
not. Derek Moore, evening lads. Absolute shit show last night. I'm depressed all day. Should this be the Leeds United motto? We're sat marching on together off, and we're set side before self every time or whatever. We need to have this evening like absolute shit show. I'm depressed all day on the side of Ellen Road. Bandyford, Noski, we shall fight them on the beaches. We shall fight them on the land. We have the players. We don't have the plan. Bit of poetry there.
See, I'm not sure. I would say I'm not sure we have got the players.
I agree
with that.
Yeah, let's come on to that then. So let's be fair to Matt. I do feel sorry for him. And Adam Pope asked Marsch if this was his toughest moment in football, and he basically said, yeah, it's pretty tough. And you look at him, and he does look like a beaten man, like you were saying, Matt. He needs to, I don't know, ask some advice or something. But let's be fair to him. Be fair to him. Does he have the squad? Did he need a left back and a striker?
We said it for 5 windows. We've needed a striker. We've needed a left back. Sort the midfield out to a point, but then you look and think, are they good enough? Did I want to see players coming from, Salzburg or where? Not really. The lad from, Bayern Munich, Rocker won't get any games like. And I've sort of watched Adams a few times and thought he's been really good. I thought Palace, he was decent, So you can't be sort of flopping in and out and sort of saying, 1 minute they're decent, 1 minute they're not. But we certainly should have got more, and we should have net spend should have been more. Everybody who watches the game, you go out every week, we get. Everybody knows we've needed a striker for ages. It's been how many windows? We've needed a left back. Firpo's not the answer. I'm sorry, everybody's known that for quite some time now.
Are you saying Dan James didn't do a good job last season?
Who? That's another nonsense, sending him out on loan. It's ridiculous.
Well, it is, but the thing is, he's done it because he's a wide player and we're not playing with any width, so he's obviously thought we don't need him, but that's down to the system, isn't it? I think you can blame Marsch for the system, and you can blame him for the fact the system isn't working. But I will say this: let's not forget, not just focus on the players we should have brought in. Some of the players that are there aren't performing. You look at Llorente, you look at Firpo. There's others in there. I mean, I'm not going to dig everybody out. They've been sort of like poor, but I just sometimes look at them and think you can't coach a player to in game make the right decision and pick a pass and be able to pass a ball. And at the moment, fucking none of them can do it. It's almost like they've given up, or that they're not able to just.
I think to be fair, Aronson played quite well against Leicester. I think to be fair.
Yeah, I said before, I thought him and Sinisterra were the 2 best players by streaks. They were the positive light. I didn't think Cock was great. I don't think Melee is playing well. I thought the goal he conceded against Arsenal was poor on his near post. Fuck me. Remember when he played that Arsenal game when he came on for Casilla?
The Cup.
And it was like, this is going to be one of the most dangerous weapons we've got as a team. We've got a goalkeeper who can pass like Pirlo. He could play 60-yard, 40-yard, 10-yard passes. He's absolutely shit. You know what he does? It's like a sand wedge. He just chips the ball up into the middle of the pitch and hopes. I mean, that's the easiest header for a defender to fucking win. Is one that's up in the air. He can just march onto it. He's fucking disgraceful. He's lazy. So you look at certain players and you think, he's overrated. I think something we do as Leeds fans, we overrate players. We think somebody's brilliant when they've had 3 or 4 good games, or he's still young. He's fucking not. He's played 60. How many games has he played in Premier League now? He hasn't learned. He's gone backwards. So there's some players in there.
One of our longest-serving goalkeepers of all time.
Isn't it? Well, he should fucking know better than, shouldn't he? Because he's not coveted himself in glory this year.
I think catching balls is a big one. Punching crosses away.
Punching badly.
The punch last night, and it was like, why did you catch that? What the fuck are you doing? You idiot! I think his distribution is terrible. I think what Melier's got is a good shot stopper. He can, from distance, he can get down. He can save a shot. But yeah, he's not been great. I think overall, some of these players were coached by Bielsa, who made them better, and the standards were set up here, and you have to meet them standards or you're done. He got rid of you. And therefore that drives you and drives you and drives you. They've not got that anymore. They haven't got that standard in that bar. And therefore they go, oh, well, fuck it. I'll just go back to what I was.
Some of your comments then are also...
Surely, personally, you as a player, as an individual, as a human being, those standards are set for life. You know, like Bamford and Ayling and all these players, Cooper, who've played under him. Surely must think, that's kind of the standard I want to be playing at. It makes me a better person. We get more success from it. How can you just drop off so badly just because the manager leaves? It's like, well...
and I get that, Ewan, and that is... But it's human beings. When you can cut a corner, they'll cut a corner. They will.
If you're allowed to clock off. Yeah.
Speaking of cuts, Bamford needs a good haircut and shave. He looks homeless. His bird might have kicked him out, says David Foster.
My haircut only cost me £6. I should do the details of my hairdresser.
Understand Jesse has made many mistakes this season, but the players
for that mess.
have to take some blame as well, along with the board, says Richie Holmes. So there we go. Are we guilty as Leeds fans of clinging to hope? That's kind of my next question. Hoping things change. Hoping Firpo comes good. Hoping the kids...
It's fucking all we've got.
hoping Gelhardt comes in and tears it up. Hoping Bamford gets fully fit. Hoping Rodrigo can do something... at least not assist their goals constantly.
we do hold on to a lot of hope as Leeds fans, and I think a couple of points. For me, I thought Somerville was okay second half, but nowhere near good enough overall. He had his chance, and we do hold on to that. These 21s are going to be the next big thing, and we're just not seeing it. That's a fact. We hold out hope that Rodrigo's going to come good. He started the season well. He did. He got knocked a few in, but he's a £30 million flop who needs sending back to Spain because if we could get $3 million for him, snap your hand off because he's crap. He is.
Wiggy deporting Rodrigo.
But
you're on fire tonight, Wiggy.
Yeah. Brexit. Hard Brexit. Hard Brexit.
£30 million is terrible. He can take his mate Firpo with him. Ewan, you're up for left back. That'll do. You can't do any worse, mate. No, he's terrible. But we all sit and we go, this is what we've got.
Better left foot than fucking Firpo.
Totally, I can believe it. But this is what happens with Leeds fans. He had a half-decent pre-season. And then it's all of a sudden the coming again of Firpo is going to be brilliant. He's shit. The bloke is terrible. We're all hoping and praying that Strauch, who is not a left back, is fit on Sunday, so we've got half a chance down that side. That is ridiculous.
I do think the 3 games at the start of the season did us in as well. They were a mirage, and they caused us to not go heavy in the last moments, last few weeks.
What is Firpo's nationality, by the way?
Spanish, isn't it?
What's Firpo's nationality?
Spanish. Yeah.
How do we manage to find the worst fucking Spanish players on the planet? I don't get it. How do we do it?
I've said it before. Word. 2 words.
2 words. Victor Order.
Fucking well, there you go. Fucking we're all coming back around to it. The problems start at the top. In any organisation that's failing, usually the problems are started at the top. Now, I've said for a while that the boardroom's causing problems. This power struggle or ego fucking battle between the 49ers and Ramazani needs to be sorted out. I've never massively rated Porter. I think he's brought in some good players and a lot of shit, which I guess the reality of that job is it's not easy, is it, to do? And you will have people that don't work out. But to go and buy Spanish players, and I've never seen an athletic Spanish person than fucking Firpo. He literally, there's nothing about him that you look all like. It's embarrassing. We need his haircut shit. And
even his haircut shit. His positioning was terrible. Terrible against Leicester.
I'm not just everything. But Bamford, right? sometimes manscape, don't you? You'll know this. You need a good manscape to feel good about yourself and perform.
No, we're not sponsored. We're not sponsored by them. They've sent the emails. No,
Wrong.
I refuse to do
Wrong.
it. It
Yeah.
never lasts. If
The
you look at
adverts
all
comes
the
on now,
sponsorships they give to other YouTube channels and podcasts, they never last. It's always like 1 or 2 episodes, and then you never hear from them again. And the reason is they don't give you any money. That's the reason.
The best a man can get. If his hair looks like that and his beard and his face, he looks homeless. What do you think his balls look like? He needs to give himself a good fucking manscape, clean himself up, get himself feeling and looking sharp.
No, keep it hairy.
No. Manscaping, not the product or the thing that's trying to think. Just a manscape. It's a thing.
No, I refuse to. No, yeah. I refuse to go down this avenue.
It's not messages.
It's a thing you do. Surely you manscaped on me.
Let's not talk about it. No improvement at all since last season, says Santhana Raj. I'm sorry, I butchered your name. Oh dear. Ward is probably one of the worst goalkeepers in this league, and we didn't test him. They conceded the most amount of goals in the league. Richie, that was Richie Holmes. We survived last season because the last 2 games we reverted to Bielsa. True. 4-1-4-1, wasn't it, Bandy? The system, the tactics, team selections, the substitutions, everything sucks. Santana with a not very positive outlook on Marsch. Right, Wiggy.
Yeah.
Speaking of hoping things change, you see what I did there? Do you want to? Thank you. Yeah. Talk about rainbow laces and the Football Supporters Association.
Yeah. So, well, thank you. What a great segue in that. Definitely a pro.
I did what a professionalism. Wow.
Honestly, he should have a BBC show. Yeah, so Rainbow Laces campaign every year. I'm sure all your watchers, listeners are fully aware that it's an annual event where over a couple of weeks we celebrate LGBT plus inclusion within football, and Sunday's our game. So we will be marching out together. We'll be pitch side, welcoming the players on with stuff in the programme, and we've done some stuff with other stuff with the club. And then they'll have some warm-up T-shirts. You'll have seen the new Together hoodie and top. I think the players are wearing them. Hopefully we're going to get a couple of signed to auction out and raffle out.
They're the ones that it looks like the 80s have vomited onto a T-shirt.
Correct. But this is an Adidas and Leeds United initiative, and we're going with it. I'm not quite sure how the players are going to sign that for us and us be able to see the signatures, but we'll worry about that bridge when we come to it. So yeah, Rainbow Laces this weekend. Really looking forward to it. Loads of stuff going on. And then the other thing, and this is me talking as the chair of Marching Out, like not as a peacock, is we are up for an award from the Football Supporters Association. They have an annual award and an annual awards dinner which we're going to, and we've been nominated or shortlisted, should I say, not nominated in. I think there's 5 up for it, maybe 6. It's a panel award, so no need for Leeds fans to vote, although we'd have definitely won if there were a vote involved. We're up for Fans for Diversity Award, so there's other groups in there, but for me, I can't see any other group doing what we've done the last 12 months, like a mural, the first ever Premier League player to march at Pride, a Pride range in the shops, the patches that go on your arm. They're like, if we do not win this award, I am done with these awards. Like, I'm not entering them again. We're not doing it. Like, we know what we do. We know why we do it. Like, I don't need an award to know everything we've done and be proud of what we've achieved. It would be nice, and therefore I hope we win. But like, it isn't the be all and end all. But I'm incredibly proud of what the guys and girls at Marching Out are doing. They've smashed it this year, like ridiculous, off the scale. As chair, I'm so proud, and I couldn't do what we do without the group we've got, and they're fantastic. So big shout out to them.
Yeah, I mean, you hear you can hear so much stuff over the years, especially in the 80s and 90s that you don't like from in the crowd. You know, there was a great cartoon. Who's that twat in the crowd? In one of the football Leeds supporters magazines at the time, and you feel like you just didn't know what you wanted to help, you wanted to do something, but you couldn't. And I think that's why I love marching out together so much. Is you give that outlet and you put it out there. You represent the club so well, and yeah, fantastic. You can't vote for that, can you? But I think you can vote for the square ball if you want to. So
you can vote for the square ball, and I hope everyone does, because they deserve it. I think the lads over at the square ball do a great job with their podcast, and they're up against the Anfield Wrap, and we do not want them bloody Scousers winning it. So yeah, please vote for the square ball lads. They do a great job. But you can't vote for ours, which is a shame. And this is what I say: if we don't win, I will be back on here fucking raging. I'm telling you now, I'm already raging like we have won. I just know we've got screwed out of it. And I'm just like, tell me whoever wins, I want to see what they've done this last year. Because I'm telling you, it will not stack up to what Marching Out have done. Will not. And yeah, they're incredible, the guys.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
What a job you've done, Wiggy. Honestly, I'm so proud of you. And do you know what I was going to say to you, Wiggy, as well, just on the back of that is, I come to the mural, the launch of the mural, and I was just blown away by the people, Mick and yourself and all the people that were there. It made to feel really welcome, and just you could see like the buzz and the energy.
I don't remember Wiggy being there. Can I just say?
No, yeah, we represented the Roaring Peacocks on that occasion. But, we're proud to do it. It's not. I'm not saying it lightly. Really proud to do it. And football's come a long way, and I think it's partly mainly down to people like yourself and the group, Wiggy. So you should be proud of that. And nobody who does the work that you do does it for the accolades. You're already doing it before you get registered and recognised for it. So just keep doing it. Don't worry about that. It'd be nice to get recognised and nice to get the accolades, but none of us who do these brilliant things do it for accolades. You do it because you're doing an amazing thing. So keep up the good work, and and you know what's going to happen, don't you? You're going to be walking up to the stage, having been announced as winner, and VAR's going to come on, and they're going to have a look at it, and then go, no, sorry, it's Leeds. It's a Leeds fucking thing. No, sorry. You'll get it taken away from you at the last minute on a clear and obvious.
Totally. And thank you. And you're right. I don't do it for the accolades. I do it because I'm really passionate and really care about what we're trying to do and trying to achieve. It's really important to me. And I would just like to say, thank you to you guys, because, I'm part of the Roaring Peacocks and I absolutely love it. And again, it's such an inclusive environment, and I'm made to feel like just one of the guys, and that's exactly where we should be. Like, I'm just one of the guys. Yeah, we have a bit of banter, and that's allowed. Like, that is, because, banter is good. I love banter, I do. I give it as good as I take it. That's banter. And that's what should be allowed, and where we
Yes, Jesse, it's all banter. Don't worry. You're doing a great job, Jesse. It was just banter.
I wish to confirm everything I've said about him is not banter. Get gone.
We have everybody on here, mate. It's an inclusive environment. Gay people, bald people, kinky people from Austria, Barney, Tory from Harrogate. We accept anybody. We even accept Tories from Harrogate.
Anybody stupid enough and masochistic enough to support Leeds is welcome.
I bet you done it. You sat there going, "Fuck me! I wish Barney were here with his happy clapping."
Well, there's not much of it. It's not really appropriate, I don't think. But we just got to be, we've got to have that self-deprecation. We've got to have that masochism again. Under George Graham, I'll never forget it. That was my first, taste of it as a 10-year-old or whatever in the stands. And we couldn't score for love nor money. And we were singing, we'll score again, don't know where, don't know when. I think it was 5 or 6 or 7 0-0 draws. In 10 games or something, 10 home games, and it was abject, it was dire, it was better than this, it was much better than this. I mean, it was worse than this. So it's much better now. Much better now under Marsch. Much
I
better.
tell you what, that's a good song you've given me for Sunday. It's in the head.
Right,
It's ready.
yeah. There you go.
The thing is with Graham is you'd pick up points. We were saying it before about when we were drawing games with Southampton and people like that. At least you're getting a point. And now we're not. We've got 2 points in 20, possible 21. I think the big thing to say is as well, we give our opinions, but I think that the most loyal people I've ever met at Leeds is away fans. The lads that go away, and he lost the away crowd last night massively. So if they're turning against him, whatever we think actually is irrelevant, because the lads that go away every week are usually stick by the team, through thick or thin. Don't go any, they don't really show any disrespect to like the manager or the players. It's literally they lost. And I think rightly so. After a performance that I thought was pretty spineless from quite a lot of the players, but also from Marsch. So that's quite telling. I think that the away fans turned a bit last night, and that's not a good. It's not at all.
I remember, is it Steve Evans' last game? I think it was Preston away, something like that, and they were all applauding him, the away fans. So that's the kind of bar that we're talking about here. Yeah.
I think the serious point on this is I'm full of cold.
He took over from me, hasn't he?
Sorry.
Can I just say, what I want to say?
I just wanted to meet your professional standards, Tommy. I think the point is, and to move this conversation on probably is like, where next? Like, where do we go next if we sack him?
Right.
Because I don't have the
Great
answer.
question.
I really don't. But
So
I get to the point where I think he needs to go, but I don't get where we go next, and it's a real worry.
It's never easy mid-season, is it? So your available options are either somebody who's successful who wants to leave a club. So that might be a lower league manager. So you're talking about somebody unproven at Premier League level.
Steve Bruce.
People who've been sacked recently.
Bielsa.
There's probably a reason. There's probably a reason they've been sacked. So. Well, talking about Bielsa, Paul Homboy, if Johnson can come back, can we have Bielsa? And Bandy's got a suggestion here. Let us break the bank and get Diego Simeone. Well, talking about shithouse defensive football.
George Graham. George Graham.
I think we'd have to rob the bank.
Corberan was an option. At least he left Huddersfield with his credibility, but I mean, he spent a lot of time in Huddersfield, so want to be careful. We don't want.
We'll have to get him dewormed and
deloused.
Put him in a sheep dip on his way back. But Corberan might not be. I don't know. It's like one of them. It's a bit of a leap of faith and there is no guarantees. That's the problem. I'd have loved Corberan to have had that channel into that job. But it feels a bit like by default now. I wouldn't be against Warnock. I'm only joking. I'm joking. It's really tough. You look at there's the guys that go around the cycle, isn't there, that are constantly getting work, like Warnock, like Bruce, like whoever, that just constantly go around the churn and seem to keep getting work despite being pretty abject. And then there's people you have to take that leap of faith. And in a way, I think Jesse Marsch was probably one of them. Look at Orta. We talk about Orta quickly. He's been okay with players, but he's been fucking rubbish by Bielsa with managers, hasn't he? So you wouldn't trust him to pick another one, to be frank.
You telling me you had no faith in Heckingbottom or Christensen?
No, neither. Well, to be fair, I didn't know enough about Christensen, but it felt weird. It was like, nah, that's not right. He's not got enough experience, doesn't know the league. He's not managed anybody.
Cyprus,
talking about. Exactly. You know. Yeah. So
Austria's a step up from Cyprus. To be fair,
that's the thing, Wiggy. Is you can sort of talk all you want about getting rid of Marsch. Who's actually coming forward with a viable alternative? Not many, because you want to get rid. You want to see the man that's, you know, being custodian of the team go because it's not good enough and it's not working. But you've got to think about who's going to be coming in. We might do what Burnley did and put, you know, what's his name, Liam Cooper, player manager. I don't know, Pablo Hernandez. Get Pablo in.
You know,
Forshaw was inspired, wasn't he? He was inspired by Bielsa.
No, he's our new midfielder, mate. He can't be managing. He's the new midfielder we should have bought 6 years ago.
And maybe Sam Allardyce.
Yeah, Big Sam, Big Cole.
Yeah, that's one of those churn managers, isn't it?
Gareth Southgate.
I don't think it would be a bad idea.
After the World Cup.
Gareth Southgate. The thing is, the World Cup, I said it to you before, the World Cup's going to be a biggie because it's an opportunity for somebody to get a manager in. We'll almost have like 4 weeks, 5 weeks to start working with the players. So I think if I haven't got to push the button before or not at all.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at. Like, if we get beat tomorrow, I'd go tomorrow and get rid and start again. But if we win tomorrow, then probably see it out to the World Cup. And if we're not where we need to be, he's got to go. Either way, he's got to go for me. But I'm just thinking of the logistics of trying to get it right.
We've had some intelligent suggestions. So Richie Holmes has said Nuno and Gasparini from Atalanta. You watch Serie A? Gasparini?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of... Listen, there's some teams in Serie A. I'm going to come on to something now. Who punch above their weight. Probably Atlanta. Well, I don't know if they do punch above their weight. They're a very good team to watch. And I don't know much about Gasparini, I've got to be honest. I'll tell you what I will talk about now briefly. Spalletti and the Napoli. We keep going on about the Leicester model. Fuck that. They're down there with us. What we want to be copying is the Napoli model because they have every year. I mean, I've followed Napoli since about the early 90s, right? But they've been down to Serie A, which is like almost a semi-pro league, and back up, and bloody loads of turmoil at the club around mafia money, and you know. Now they're a pretty solid bet to be there or thereabouts for Champions League football in a relatively challenging and tough league, right? But also play some of the most exciting football you'll ever watch, right? And make their home of us, which is all we want, innit? We want Ellen Road to be a fortress. But I'll tell you what it is about Napoli, right? Every season they lose 2 or 3 players. So Gonzalo Higuain went to Juventus, and it was like, oh, what are we going to do? And they kind of got Mertens playing up front, and you know, Lavezzi left, and Cavani left, and they bring players in, and you kind of think, nah, are you joking? He's not going to be a replacement for Cavani. He's not going to be Lavezzi. He's not going to be for Calderon. He's not going to be able to stand in his boots. You know, this year lost Mertens, Koulibaly, Insigne. Literally, I thought we struggled to finish at top half here, and they brought in Migné, the guy from Son Migné. I think he's Korean or Chinese, whatever, at centre half to replace Koulibaly. Has been absolutely ridiculous. They brought in the guy who we looked at, and Anguissa in midfield. Kavash. Yeah, I still can't say them. I listen to him every week. But, you know, we looked at him. He would have been cheap, right? We looked at Anguissa after he left Fulham. They're running the show. They're absolutely running the show. Do you know the Champions League is as exciting as anybody's been in Champions League for years? So you look at that model and you think, how are we not? I said it to you the other week. It's not just about the players that Otto's bought. It's about the players that he's not bought. It's about the players that he's missed out on or decided, nah. That Camaricella and Anguissa, potentially in our team, would have made a huge difference, particularly to add to that squad and to have options in there. I look at their model, as much as I'm biased because I love Napoli and what have you, but honestly, my heart has sunk a few for the last couple of seasons where they've lost a certain group of core influential players and just seem to replace them. And also the system works. They bring in players that suit the system, and it worked because actually, the little midfielder, Labocha, where's he from now? He's from somewhere in like Eastern Europe. He was written off, and they kind of suddenly brought him back in and gave him a new role, and he's dominating in midfield. He ran Liverpool ragged. So you kind of look across that team and that strategy. They sell players for big money and always get top dollar. So Koulibaly is a great example. Gonzalo Higuain, a great example, and seems to bring players in on a minimal amount of money. And they fall in love with playing at Napoli, which they should do. Same at Leeds. You always compare the two a little bit. Of course, it's nicer to spend time in Napoli with the weather and the sort of, the Amalfi Coast, but it's got that same sort of mentality. It's made around the people, but
give over with that eyebrow wiggy. You're constantly on holiday. You're always off on holiday.
Spalletti. Are you there? Or?
Of course I am, but if I could live in Napoli or Leeds, I'd definitely choose Leeds. Look at this glorious weather that's pissing it down now. Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
So Spalletti or
Napoli's a taste.
Guintoli, who's the director of football at Napoli. Guintoli. You're saying get Orta out, get Guintoli in. And
it's not even the personalities, it's the way they do it. It's that bravery around, we're going to lose these players, let's get top dollar for them. They didn't succumb to Chelsea straight away over Koulibaly. They made them wait and said, no, we're not prepared to sell unless you pay the money. We bend over for everybody, don't we? And get less money than we should. But it's also that mentality of there's lots of football players out there. Let's bring in somebody who's excited, who'll get the crowd going. I think we've kind of done that with Sinisterra to a point. He has been one of the shining lights this year, hasn't he? But it's just that, I don't know, it's a mentality. It's almost a bravery and a kind of commitment to the cause, which we just seem to lack at times, which we need. I think managers get overrated anyway. I think if you put footballers on a pitch and allow them to play, 9 times out of 10 they'll make the right decisions and they'll be exciting to watch. And I think that's what Spalletti's done. He's renowned for kind of players' strengths and letting them play. And that's exactly how they play. They should be playing, Aronson. I think Christian's went his own a little bit the last few games as much as we've been poor.
He's no Luke Ayling for me, though. No Luke Ayling.
Well, do you know what? As well, it's a great point, Don. As much as I've said that, what's wrong with Ayling? I watched that 30-goal build-up today, and Ayling was instrumental. He was driving forward. He's really clever on the ball. He can pick a pass. He can go past the first man and go through the channels and raid down that right-hand side. But he's also a committed defender.
Crosses.
I think that's Marsch. Yeah, that's down to Marsch, isn't it? I've not seen Christensen put one decent cross in yet.
No.
So
quality and overlaps and underlaps, the little triangles on the right hand side. He just gets it moving, doesn't it? Right, a little poll. Before the Arsenal game, there were rumours about Jesse Marsch possibly losing his job. I asked Twitter, what do you think about him? And he's great, keep him, got 6.8% of the vote. He needs more time was the winning option with 47.2% of the vote. It's not working, sack him, got 21%, and he can't judge yet, got 24%. 4 days later, after the Leicester game.
A pickle bunch, aren't we?
I asked the same options, so I'm wondering if opinions have changed 4 days on. The winning option was it's not working, sack him, with 68.9% of the vote. He needs more time, 12.4%. Not sure, 16.9%. And only 1.9%, that's Jesse Marsch and his extended family, said he's great, keep him.
Just so you know, I was consistent in both thoughts and said, get fucking shut.
You've been consistent since the Tuesday after he got the job, mate.
Correct. Just so you know, my consistency on this matter has been the same for the last however months, 10 months, 8 months, however long.
You hated him from the first press conference.
Yeah. I did. I said straight away, we've mentioned it. Used car salesman, talks the talk. Let's see if he can walk the walk. He's proved he can't. He's got to go.
You do say that about everybody, though, Wiggy. So it's like a broken clock. It's right 2 times a day, isn't it? You know what I mean? Everybody's shit. So.
I do
You
try
used
and
to
give
so much was
people a
good as well
chance.
when I was telling you how shit.
Yeah, to be fair,
you
I
used
got
to love
Robert
Tyler
from.
Roberts.
I'll give you that. Maybe he's the
We all
answer
get
that
it,
we
though.
need back.
It was the hope
Yeah, I think
that
so.
killed you.
Going to be.
So,
Yeah.
are we still
I
hoping?
think that just shows what a fickle. Sorry, that just shows what a fickle bunch we are. And you know what? I feel about and I feel guilty. But you know what it is? It's hurt. It fucking hurts to watch that team last night. The way they played, the lack of, creating chances, the lack of togetherness, that lack of unity, that very little identity. The one thing under Bielsa, when we get beaten, at the end, I was, saying Bielsa needs to go. We always had identity, didn't we? And we haven't got an identity now. The one we've got shit. It's one you want to get rid of, isn't it? So I feel bad myself, but we're a fickle bunch. That's football fans.
You had hope under Bielsa. Didn't matter whether it was bloody 6-0. You still had hope that we'd do something. We've no hope now, or I feel hopeless. And you know what pissed me off about yesterday? It's on Amazon that probably more people have got that have never seen Leeds United, who don't have Sky, who don't have BT, who turn up because they pay the £9 prime for the bloody next day deliveries. Watch it and watch that shower of shite. Ugh.
Yeah. It does
right.
fucking hurt. That's why we're fickle, and that's why that vote's gone that way, because it fucking hurts. It's like you sat there. I mean, I watch it with my kids, and I felt like go to bed, do anything else, but ruin your life watching shit, because I've spent years doing it, and it's Thursday night. It's like you want to enjoy it, and like, at least if got a result or a draw or scored a goal, had any kind of hope, but it was just so depressing. And I think Wiggy said it before. I didn't think Leicester were great. I thought they were pretty poor. I thought it was a way to beat them. Lack of fight, lack of sticking up for each other. Just, it's really. Sorry,
right then.
really
Some
depressing now.
It's all right. It's okay.
We probably need to wrap it up because this is not getting any better.
Final few comments then and final thoughts. So I just want in the comments, and I guess it'll come up here when you write it in. Just let us know if you want to keep or sack Jesse Marsch. And I'll ask the same to you, lads. Do you still have hope that Jesse Marsch can turn things around? Keep him. He's great. Keep him. He needs more time. It's not working. Sack him, or he can't judge yet.
I think I've been quite clear with my views. He's the best manager we've ever had, and we should keep him.
Classic.
No, get him on the first flight back to America. He's terrible. I would not. I would not have him anywhere near us. He's not good enough, and I wish him all the best because I don't think he's a bad guy. I really don't. I think he's, really enthusiastic and a nice guy overall. He's just not Leeds United. He's not good enough for us. So thank you for the job that you did last season when you played Bielsa's football to keep us up. But it's time to go, mate. That is my view.
Okay, Ewan, have you seen enough? Can Jesse turn things around?
Honestly, no, I don't think he can. I think we're in trouble if he stays. I just don't see how that system and that way of playing is going to get us enough points or score us enough goals to win games. So, unfortunately, and I wasn't in that camp that was really negative straight away, and I understand why people were, American, and had a patches record. It's, I wanted it to work, and I thought that, with that kind of bravado and that energy and that positivity with the young players he was bringing in, who were his players, it could have been okay, but it's not worked, and I just don't see it being turned around. So yeah, it's unfortunately the World Cup does provide a platform to have 4 or 5 weeks to work with players and get it turned around, which is really difficult mid-season anyway. So Villa have took a bit of the bullet, haven't they? They've made a decision probably that they can bring somebody in and have a bit of a run at it. And I'm unfortunate, I'd be in that camp where we get rid and bring somebody else in. Who that is about is a real question mark for me. But to do like 2-1 against, let's be frank, half of Arsenal. Played nobody.
We got it.
We got the gist.
Danny boy.
Yeah.
No, I was saying we haven't played it. We haven't played it
The
back from Arsenal. We've got
calling.
Pipes are calling. Yeah, 21 points to play for 2 games against nobody. That can't continue, can it? That's bottom of the league form.
Yep.
Yeah, and I for me, it's just I just think you've got to make decisions. I think we've rode hope far too long, and we've mentioned that a lot in the pod today. We've spent so much time watching Tyler Roberts, for example, hoping and wishing and praying, and now I don't think he's even getting in the QPR team
because he's shit.
Right.
Shock on it. Yeah, he's fucking terrible.
Yeah. So sometimes your eyes don't lie. It's clearly not working. I think the sooner we make a change, the quicker we can turn it around. Maybe.
Yeah. We've got an opportunity with the World Cup, as you said. So if we lose on Sunday, he's got to go Sunday. But if not, he might get another couple of games, but he's got to go either way. Yeah.
My view tends to soften. I mean, at 90 minutes, they could have put him in the stocks and thrown rotten fruit at him, along with the ref, and I would have been okay with it, probably.
I'd have took cans of fruit at him. The cans.
But I think maybe if we beat Fulham, then he buys himself some time, doesn't he?
Yeah, totally.
Right, final thoughts. I don't know how we've talked for this long about Leeds United when it's been absolutely this abject. Last words?
Guys, have a good weekend. That would be my last words. Try not to worry too much about Leeds United and the shit show that is happening at the minute. Enjoy the game on Sunday. Go and, get behind the lads as we will do. I think Sunday will go one way or the other. And if it goes the other, then it will be an horrendous place to be. But I'm sure people will let their voices be heard in terms of what they want to happen. So, yeah, enjoy the week. I'm certainly going to forget about Leeds United. Tomorrow, I'm going to enjoy my weekend.
Okay, enjoy the weekend and forget about Leeds. Matt?
Yeah,
exactly the same.
At least it being on Sunday, you get to enjoy your Friday and Saturday. So enjoy it, people. I'm off for a curry now. I'm off to go pick it up and have a glass of wine and enjoy my Friday night. Saturday, be mint. I'm off out tomorrow in Leeds, so hopefully I might bump into you. When's the thing? When's the
it's in November. The exact date is missed me. It's a Thursday night in November.
Okay.
I'll get the exact date. I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated.
I thought it might be coming up. I was going to say good luck today. But yeah, just go and enjoy your weekend. Don't let Sunday nights are depressing anyway. Monday mornings. Drink responsibly.
Final comment from David Foster. Ewan has tapped into next door's Wi-Fi. All right.
He's not my next neighbour, is he? I have.
Come on, Leeds. Bloody hell.
Cheers for internet.
Come on, Leeds.
Score a freaking goal.